Hello students, welcome to Gangs of Toppers. In this class, we are going to deal with Jainism and Buddhism. This is very important topic for class checks. Okay. So first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is MD Imran and presently I am a teacher. I have a teaching experiences of more than 1 year and I have taught more than 1000 students. Okay. Now, come to the topic, that is Jainism and Buddhism. During the 6th century BC, that is during the 6th century BC, that is before Common Era, many new religious heterodox sects emerged. Okay. So the two most popular religious heterodox sects were the Buddhism and Jainism. Means these Buddhism and Jainism are two of most popular religious heterodox, and that religious heterodox sect, okay, means these religions had opinion other than the orthodox sect. Okay. So these two religions are called as heterodox sect, and they started talking and preaching about reforms in the society. Now, what is going to happen? This religion, this Buddhism and Jainism, is going to talk about that is there is something illegal is going in the society, you can say. So these religions want to reform in the society. So they started talking and preaching about the reforms in the society. Now, what are the factors responsible for the rise of Jainism and Buddhism? This is a very important topic. You have to remember that what is the factor that is responsible for the rise of Jainism and Buddhism. So there are several factors behind this phenomena. So if we see in the topic that there you will come to know that there are several factors that are responsible for the rise of Jainism and Buddhism. Okay. Now first one is that there was discontent against the Brahmins and the Brahmanical religion. What does it mean? That there are some people you can say that they are unhappy with the Brahmins and the Brahmanical religion. Okay. As the Varna system becomes both hereditary and rigid, you will see that Varna system, that suppose that the person who born in the Brahmin, then that will be that Varna, that rank will be hereditary. Okay. And suppose the person who born in Sudra, they can't be transferred into Brahmins. Means there this Varna will be rigid and hereditary. Okay. The lower classes of the Vaisyas and the Sudras were bound by rigid customs and the traditions. What does it mean? That the lower class, means we are talking about the Sudras and the Vaisyas, they were bound by rigid customs and traditions. Means they have to follow a rigid customs and the traditions. Okay, up to here. Okay. Now if we talk about the Sudras particularly faced oppressions and discriminatory treatment. What does it mean? That the people that is at the lower rank, these peoples are ill treated or they get faced oppressions, or you can say that they get abused by top of the varnas. Okay, means they get abused or they get faced ill treated. Means these Sudras people are basically faced ill treated or abused and discriminatory treatment used to get. Now the Vedic religion involved meaningless rituals and the sacrifices. Means second point is that this Vedic religion, okay, involve meaningless rituals and the sacrifices. If we talk about the Brahmanical religion, in that people have to do so many rituals and sacrifices. So this that is according to this, it is saying that these Vedic religion involves meaningless rituals and sacrifices. Means without any meaning rituals are performed. So as a result they become elaborate, costly and meaningless. So it is saying that as a result of that people feels that it is costly and meaningless. It forced common people to look for a simple religion without rituals. So it makes the common people so that there should be a new religion that does not have rituals. Okay. So you can say that this is one of the factors that are responsible for the rise of Jainism and Buddhism. Now the caste system become increasingly rigid. Now it is saying that the caste system in that because we're talking in the 6th century BC, in that era the caste system was very rigid and strong. Okay, not flexible. Okay, and the people who belong to the upper caste look down the lower class. Means the people who belong to the top of the class, they used to look down, they used to ill treated the lower class. And Jainism and Buddhism strongly oppose this, and so this Jainism and Buddhism, these two religions are going to oppose this caste system, a class system, you can say. They were against the importance attached to the birth in Varna. So it is saying that Buddhism, Buddhism and Jainism, these two religion is against the importance. That is attached to the birth that is in Varna system, because it is saying that in Varna Brahmins, it generally comes that is a priest and the academician, you can say. And if we talk about the Kshatriyas, they were the kings and the warriors. And if we talk about the Vaisyas, they were the merchants and the land owners. And the last one is about the Sudras, they were the servants. So it is saying that this Varna system is basically opposed by Jainism and Buddhism. Now, Vedic texts were written in Sanskrit. So we will say that since the Vedic texts were written in Sanskrit and the rituals are also performed using the Sanskrit language, so it is very hard for the common people to learn this. So on the other hand, if we talk that the new religion, that is this Buddhism and Jainism, is going to preach their doctrines in the language of the common people. So it is very good for the people so that they can learn the doctrines of their religion in a very easy way. Okay. In respect of Sanskrit, because Sanskrit was basically written and taught by what? It was basically taught by Brahmins. And you can say that Sudras are not allowed to read Sanskrit, you can say like that. So these Vedic texts were written in Sanskrit, and most of the common people was not able to write and read. So on the other hand, this new religion, that is Buddhism, Jainism, is going to preach their doctrines on the principle in the language of the common people, and this increase their popularity. So in this way, this Jainism and Buddhism is going to increase or spread rapidly. Okay. During this period, the importance of the trade grew. Now, if we talk about that, if we talk about this, during the 6th century BC, that is before Common Era, in this period, the importance of trade already grew. Okay. And since the Vaisyas were involved in trading activities, because in Varna system we have seen that these Vaisyas were involved in the trading activities. They were the landowners, they were the traders and the merchants. So they were involved in the trading activities, and their importance also increased simultaneously. Why? Because since their importance also increase means what? Because they are involved in the trading activities, so they get money, so they used to get money. And in this way, if they become rich, and their importance also increase simultaneously. And however, the Vaisyas still remained at the same position in the Varna system, because in Varna system, because we have already studied that it is heredity as well as it. Okay, means the person who born in Vaisyas cannot be transferred to Brahmins. Okay, so the rank was still maintained the same position. Okay. The new religious sect did not attach much importance in the caste system, because this new religion, that is Jainism and Buddhism, is not going to give much importance to the caste system, and this suited the needs and interests of the Vaisyas, and they supported Buddhism and Jainism. So you can say that this suited, because still they are not getting, still instead of their importance is increased, but still they remain in the same position. So Vaisyas decided that I will support this Buddhism and Jainism, because in this Brahmanical society I am not getting much importance, I am not getting that position what I want. Now we will study about Jainism. Jainism is considered as one of the most ancient religion of the world. Okay, so you have to remember that Jainism is considered as one of the most ancient religion of the world. The Jain ideas were in circulation since the 7th century BC. Okay, means if you talk that this Jain ideas already in circulation since the 7th century BC, and it was the Vardhaman Mahavira who gave them a concrete shape in the 6th century BC. Means you can say that before Vardhaman Mahavira, that is Jain ideas were already in circulation. Okay, but this Vardhaman Mahavira, he gave a concrete shape in which year? That is in the 6th century BC, and therefore he is regarded as the founder of Jainism. Therefore, why he is regarded? Because before, you can say that in the 7th century BC, the ideas of the Jainism always, or you can say that they were in circulation. But this Vardhaman Mahavira, he has given a concrete shape in which year? That is in the 6th century BC, and therefore he is regarded as the founder of Jainism. Now, he is also known as Tirthankar. He is also known as Tirthankar, and his teaching led to the rapid growth and the spread of Jainism. And his teaching means his teaching led to rapid growth, and because he used to teach in common language, so the people follow it, and in this way their teaching led to the rapid growth and the spread of Jainism. And Mahavira is considered as the 24th and the last Tirthankar of the Jains. So you have to remember that before Mahavira, there were already existence of 23rd or 23 Tirthankar. And Mahavira, that is Vardhaman Mahavira, is considered as 24th and the last Tirthankar of the Jain. Okay, now we will study about the Mahavira early life. Mahavira was born in 599 BC. He was born in 599 BC at Kundagram near Vaishali, that is in Bihar. Okay, you can see that Mahavira was born in Bihar and he was a Kshatriya's prince. He was a Kshatriya's prince belonging to which clan? That is, his clan was Lichachavi, and he gave up a luxury and the comfort at the age of 30. So he gave up, means he was actually living, he was actually a Kshatriya prince, but he gave up his luxury and comfort at the age of 30. Why? In the search of truth. Now, what is the search? Search for truth. Mahavira led an ascetic life. Mahavira led an ascetic life means what? A person, what is ascetic? A person who renounced material comfort and lead a severe life. Lead a severe life. Okay. And wandered from place to place in search of truth. Why? He wanted to search, he wanted to find the truth, so he wandered place to place. Okay. Now in the 30th year of asceticism, means you can say that in the 30th year of his material comfort, okay, he gained a spiritual knowledge. Means you can say that in 13 year, in 13 years he got or he gained a spiritual knowledge and he found full enlightenment and become Jinnah. So at the age of, because he left at the age of which 30, and at the age of 13 he got enlightened or he gained a spiritual knowledge, and in this way he found full enlightenment and become Jinnah. What is the meaning of Jinnah? It means that is the conqueror of self, means the conqueror of self means himself. And Mahavira attained perfect knowledge. Mahavira is going to attain perfect knowledge, that is called as Kaivalya, through which he conquered misery and happiness. So through this perfect knowledge he is going to conquer misery and happiness. Misery means what? That is sad. And he spent the remaining years of his life in the preaching his religion ideas in Magad and Anga. So at the age of 30 he left his comfort, and at the age of after he has spent 13 years in search of truth, or you can say that after he has spent 13 years as a ascetic, he gained a spiritual knowledge. Okay, and after that, after gaining this perfect knowledge, that is Kaivalya, he started preaching his religious ideas in the Magad and Anga. Mahavira attained moksha, means he is going to die at the age of 72 at Pawapuri, that is in Bihar. Okay, now teachings of Mahavira, we are going to study about the teachings of Mahavira. There are the 5 rules of conducts of Jainism and are as follows. Means rules of conduct means what? You can say a standard operating procedure. Everybody has something a standard, that is operating procedure. So we, in this way, there is 5 rules to conduct. 5 rules of conduct are there. First one is do not commit violence. First one is do not commit violence. Second one is do not speak a lie. And third one is do not steal. And the fourth one is do not acquire property. And the fourth one is observe continence. Observe continence. Continence means what? It means self-control. Observe continence. So it is said that only this 5th doctrine, because we have already studied that in the 6th century BC. Okay, you have already studied that in the 7th century BC the idea of Jainism was in circulation, but this Vardhaman Mahavira has given a concrete step in the 6th century BC. So this one, that is 5 rules of doctrine, already 4th one was already existing, and the 5th doctrine was added by this Mahavira. Okay, and the 4 were taken by him from the previous Tirthankar, and he asked his follower to discard cloth. He asked his follower to discard clothes, means completely, which means that he stood for a austere life. Means he is saying that Mahavira asked his follower that please you leave the cloth completely, which means that he stood for a austere life. He stood for a harsh and severe life. Okay. Mahavira laid a great stress on non-violence or ahimsa. Means Mahavira is focusing on non-violence or ahimsa, and according to him, he is saying that according to Mahavira, that all the creatures that is living in the planet or that is living in the environment, animals in the plant possess life, and hence no harm should be caused to them. So he is saying that all the creatures, that is other animal, plant, and the creatures have life. So we should not harm these. So we should not harm these things. Okay. Now, Mahavira was against all forms of religious sacrifice and the rituals. So you have already studied that this Mahavira was against all forms of religious sacrifices and rituals. What is written in the Vedic, okay, Vedic rituals, he discarded, you can say, and he was against all form of religious sacrifices and the rituals. Jainism laid emphasis on devotion. Jainism is going to, means he actually, Jainism is actually focusing on religious worship. He is actually focusing on the religious worship. And he also opposed this. Mahavira also opposed the Varna system. He believed in equality among the men. He is saying that there should be equality, there should be inequality between the men and women, and did not believe in dividing the people into different varna. And at the same time, Mahavira is saying that we should not divide the people into different varna. All are same in front of God. Now, Mahavira did not believe in the existence of God. So you have to remember that Mahavira is not going to believe in the existence of God, and he is saying that he believes in the theories of karma. Now, which theory he is believing? He believes in the theory of karma and rebirth. Means if you are doing good works, if your soul is good, then you will get moksha. Means moksha means what? That is freedom from cycle of birth and rebirth. It is from freedom from cycle of birth and rebirth. If you are good, then you will attain salvation, and in this way you will get moksha. It means that the freedom from the cycle of birth and rebirth. So we will see that according to him, a man's soul was reborn repeatedly due to his karma and action. Means he said that according to Mahavira, a man's soul was born repeatedly due to his karma and action. Means what is action or your karma is, according to this, your main soul will be reborn, okay, continuously. And the highest goal in the man's life was, means what is the highest goal that is man's life was, in to attain salvation. That means the moksha, that is freedom from cycle of birth and the rebirth. One can attain moksha by the following three ratna. So he is saying that, Mahavira is saying that one can attain moksha. Means one can attain moksha means what? One can attain freedom from cycle of birth and rebirth by following three ratna, that is three jewels. First one is right knowledge, second one is right beliefs, and the third one is right conduct. Okay. So in this paragraph, we have seen that Mahavira is actually against all form of religious sacrifices, and Mahavira does not believe in the existence of God. And according to him, he believes in the theory of karma and rebirth, and he is saying that a man's soul was born repeatedly due to his karma and action. Okay. And the highest goal in the man's life was to attain salvation, and that is the moksha. Okay. And one can attain the moksha by following the three ratna, that is right knowledge, right beliefs, right conduct, etc. Now, a split in Jainism, we will see that the Jainism is divided into two sects. Okay, so after the death of Mahavira, Jainism was divided into two sects. First one is Digambar, and the second one is Shwetambar. Digambar means what? Dig means Akash, and Ambar means what? That is cloths. So it is saying that a sky clad and choose not to wear clothes. So according to this, the people who belong to this sect, that is Digambar, they choose not to wear clothes. Okay, and they were strictly followers of Mahavira and live an austere life. So actually, the people who follow this Digambar sect, they were the strict follower of Mahavira and lived an austere life. Second point is that Shwetambar. Shwetambar was the Shwet means white and Ambar means cloth. So it is saying about it is a white clad, and they covered their mouth with a piece of white cloth. So they covered their mouth with a piece of white cloth. Now, a spread of Jainism. We'll see about the spread of Jainism. Jainism has spread gradually from east of India. So it is talking about, if we talk about this in India, then in the eastern part it first spread to east, and then after that it went to south, and after that it is going to the east. So it has spread to Kalinga, that is in Odisha, in the 4th century BC. So in the 4th century BC in Odisha it is spread, and in the 1st century BC it enjoyed the patronage of Kalinga king, that is Karavela. And after the 1st century BC it reached to Tamil Nadu. Okay, first it is Odisha, then after that it reached to Tamil Nadu, and in the later century the Jainism has spread to Malwa, that is Gujarat and Rajasthan. So after that it goes to the west. And even today these areas have a large number of Jains that is engaged in trade and commerce. Presently you can see that the area around the Malwa, Gujarat and Rajasthan, there you can find so many Jains, and these peoples are basically engaged in trade and commerce. Okay, now Jainism, that is spread to different religions of the world. So Jainism, we'll see that Jainism is going to spread different religions of the world. This happened because what are the reasons that is responsible for the Jain to spread in different religions of the world? First one is Mahavira's teaching, very simple and easy to follow. First one is that Mahavira's teaching was simple and very easy to follow. Okay, so you have to remember that why the Jain religion is spread in our country. First one is Mahavira's teaching very simple and easy to follow. Second one is that it was taught in Prakrit language. So it was taught in the Prakrit language. And what is this language? Prakrit is the language that is known to the masses. And last one, third one is that the newly formed religion that is received royal patronage from the kings such as Bimbisar and Ajasatru. So you have to see that this religion, that Jainism, also got royal patronage, or you can say royal support from the king such as Bimbisar and the Ajatasattu. And the last one is that the missionary zeal of Jain monks, that is the missionary means the mission that is sent by the Jain monks, and also promoted the spread of Jainism all over the country. Okay. Now, what is the impact of Jainism? Okay, means what is the impact, means what is the effect, after effect you can say. The spread of Jainism has several consequences, means it has advantage also. The early Jains taught their doctrines in Prakrit. As we have already seen that the Jains used to teach their doctrines in Prakrit, that is the common language of the masses, and this helped in the growth of Prakrit language in the literature. So this is going to help in the growth of Prakrit language in the literature. Okay. Now, the Jains art and architecture flourished under royal patronage, and also for the donation by the merchants and the traders. So you have seen that the people, especially the Vishyas people, they are actually converted into Jainism, you can say, and they also donated so many rupees to the to support Jainism. So it is saying that the Jains art and architecture are flourished under the royal patronage. Means this art and architecture got support from the royal patronage, and also got donations from the merchants and the traders. And this Dilwara, that is Dilwara Jain temple, that is at Mount Abu, is a fine specimen of Jain architecture. So we will see that in Dilwara temple, there is a fine specimen. There you can see that it is very marvelous architecture of Jain. Now, the followers of Mahavira attended to welfare services. So again, one more, what is the impact? That is the follower of Mahavira, the people who follow Mahavira, attended to welfare services such as building hospitals and the opening of schools. So they also do social services such as building of hospitals and the opening of schools. Now after that, we will going to study about the Buddhism. Okay. Siddhartha, that is, now we will study about the Siddhartha, that is later known as Gautam Buddha. What is the original name of Gautam Buddha? That is Siddhartha. And after that, he is called as Gautam Buddha, and was the real founder, what you can say, was the founder of Buddhism. And Siddhartha, now we will talk about the Siddhartha. Siddhartha was a Kshatriya's prince. And that he belonged from which tribe? That is, he belonged from the Sakya tribe. So he is also known as the Sakya Muni. So he is also known because since he belonged from a tribe of Sakya, therefore he is known as a Sakya Muni. Therefore he is known as Sakya Muni. And he was born in 567 BC. He was born in 567 BC at Lumbini near Kapilavastu. That is in Nepal. So this is very good diagram. Okay. Lumbini, that is in where? That is in Nepal. That is, Buddha was born this region, that is Lumbini, at Lumbini. After that, he attend enlightenment. You can say that he attend enlightenment at Bodh Gaya, that is under the Bodhi tree. So he got enlightenment. After that, he delivered his first doctrines. You can say first sermon at where? Sarnath. Okay, and after that he attend, you can say, Nirvana, where? That is at Kushinagar. So this 4 location is very important. Okay. Now, one important term, that is what is Great Renunciation. We will study about the Great Renunciation. Siddhartha was married to a beautiful prince. If you talk about the life of the Siddhartha, that is Gautam Buddha, he was married to a beautiful princess, that is Yasodhara, and was placed with a son. And so he has also a son, that his name is Rahul. However, the luxuries of the palace's lives did not satisfy him, and he began to grow very restless. Now, since he was living a luxurious life, but these luxuries of the palace life did not satisfy him. Means he was not able to satisfy himself. So he began to grow very restlessly, and he finally renounced. He finally left the life of luxury to become a wanting mendicant. What is mendicant? It means a person who lives beggary, a person who lives by begging. What does it mean? That is, mendicant, a person that who lives by begging. So you have to remember. So you can say that he became a beggar. So he finally renounced. The life of luxury. You can say that he left the life of luxury and become a beggar. After that, we are going to study about the 4 great sites. This is very important. Okay. Now, once Siddhartha was once we'll talk about the Siddhartha was on an outing in chariot. Once it was happened that Siddhartha was in outing, you can say out of the palace, and he was sitting in the chariot and he saw an old man. First he saw an old man, after that he saw a sick man, after that he saw a dying man. So he saw three sides, and this sight left him a disturbed state of mind. So after seeing these old men, sick men and the dead man, he became disturbed. Means his mind got disturbed. Now he saw an ascetic who appeared to be very calm and serene. So after that he saw an ascetic, you can say he saw a saint who appeared to be very calm and serene. And he was so deeply affected by this sight and that he left his life of prince and abandoned his family in search of truth. So after seeing this, he actually left. He left his life of prince. After that, after seeing all these four great sight, he left his life of prince and abandoned. Even he left his family also. Why? Because in search of truth. And at that time, Siddhartha was just 29 years old. So you have to remember that what is the age when Siddhartha left. When Siddhartha left his home, he was 29-year old. And this incident of his life is known as a great renunciation. So this incident is known as great renunciation. Now, what is the finding true knowledge? Now Siddhartha wandered from place to place and practiced asceticism for 6 years. So Siddhartha actually wandered here and there and practiced asceticism, or you can say there is severe and harsh ascetic life for about 6 years. And he eventually achieved salvation through meditation. So how is going to achieve? He actually achieved salvation through meditation. And he received enlightenment under a peepal tree, that is under the Bodh Gaya in Bihar. So you have to understand that he actually wandered here and there and practiced asceticism for 6 years. Means after 29, means he left home after 29. After that he wandered here and there for 6 years and eventually he achieved salvation through meditation. And at last he got salvation through what? Through meditation. And he received enlightenment under a peepal tree, that is at Bodh Gaya. And he came to be known as Buddha. And he came to be known as Buddha, or the enlightened one. And the tree under which he received enlightenment came to known as Bodhi tree. So you have to remember that this Buddha, that is got enlightenment under a peepal tree, and that peepal tree is known as Bodhi tree. That peepal tree is known as Bodhi tree. Now, first sermon. This is very important that Buddha preached his first sermon. You can say Buddha preached or Buddha taught his first teachings at where? That is at Sarnath, and his sermon was be called as the turning of the wheel of the law. What is this sermon we called as? The turning of the wheel of the law. Okay, and for about 45 years he kept wandering and preaching. And in 483 he attained Nirvana at Kushinagar, where at Kushinagar at the age of 80. So you have to remember that after that he wandered 45 years here and there. Why? Because in order to preach others, and at the age of 80 he attained Nirvana at where? At Kushinagar. So you can see in the map, this is that is he attained Nirvana at the age of 80, and at the age he was born in Lumbini, and at the age of 29 he left Lumbini and wandered here and there, and he attained you can say enlightenment at Bodhi tree, that is Bodh Gaya, at the age after how many years he wandered? How many years say? 6 years. You have to remember that he wandered 6 years. Means he left home after 29 years, and after wandering here then for 6 years he attained salvation. Means after that he remaining 45 years he wandered here and there and started preaching, and at the age of 80 he got enlightenment. So he attained Nirvana. Nirvana means he died at Kushinagar. Now what is the teachings of Gautam Buddha? Buddha's teaching was very simple. You have to remember that Buddha's teaching was very simple and practical, and they were based on the realities of the day. Means you have to, they were very simple and they were based basically on the realities of the day. Now his philosophy was also called as the middle path. Now Buddha is actually following a philosophy that is called Madhyam Marg. Okay, means he is saying that we should not do extreme. We should not do, or we should avoid from the extremities of life, as well as we should avoid the luxuries of life. So we should follow a middle path. We should follow a middle path. Now, Four Noble Truth and the Eightfold Path. The fundamental principle of the Buddha's teaching were represented by the Four Noble Truths. So we have to remember that what is the fundamental pillars, means the pillars, you can say the pillars of the Buddha's teaching. It is represented by the Four Noble Truths. First one is that the world is full of sorrow and the suffering. He is saying that the world that where we are living, it is full of sorrow and the suffering, and the cause of the sorrow is desire. Second point is that the cause of the sorrow is desire, and the third one is that the sorrow or the suffering can be ended by overcoming desire, and the sorrow and the suffering can be ended by over. So world is full of sorrow, and the cause of the sorrow is desire, and the sorrow and the suffering can be ended by overcoming the desire. And how we can overcome the desire? By following the eighth path. By following the eighth path. And what is the eighth path consist of? First one is right faith. Second one is right thought, right speech, right action, right living, right effort, right remembrance, and the right meditation. Now we will study about the code of conduct for the followers. So Buddha is saying that the followers have to follow this code in order to conduct, in order to communicate with others. First of all, that Buddha also led the following code of conduct for his followers. First one, do not covet the property of others. Means he's saying that do not steal the property of others. Second, do not commit violence. Third one, do not use intoxicant. Means we should not use toxic like wine and all. And do not speak lie. After that, he's saying that we should not speak lie. And the last one is that do not indulge in corrupt practices. We should not indulge in corrupt practices. After that, non-violence. Like Mahavira, Buddha too preached non-violence and condemned animal sacrifices. Like Buddha, Mahavira, that is Vardhaman Mahavira, Buddha is also saying that he also preached non-violence and condemned animal sacrifices. One more thing you have to remember, that this Bodh Gaya is considered as one of the most important sacred Buddhist pilgrimages. Okay, so you have to remember that this Bodh Gaya is considered as the most important and the sacred Buddhist pilgrimage site in the world. Okay, and you have already studied that Gautam Buddha attained his supreme knowledge, you can say enlightenment, under the Bodhi tree that is in Bodh Gaya. Now, theories of the karma and the nirvana. Buddha believed that our actions, that is whether it is good or bad, that is influence us in the life and all the successive ones. All the successive ones. He is saying that if you are doing good, it has some effect in your future life. Okay. So whether it is good or bad, influence us in the life. Influence means it has that replica. Means it has the effect. If you are doing good, you will get good fruits, and if you are doing bad, you will be affected by this. So he is saying that he believes in our own action, that is karma. He preaches that an individual's ultimate goal in the life is to achieve nirvana. So Buddha is saying that an individual's ultimate goal should be in his life to achieve nirvana. Nirvana means you should be free from what? Anything else. He believes that this state of bliss could be achieved by following the eightfold path. This nirvana can be attained by following the eightfold path. Now, about the existence of God. Buddha did not say anything in his preaching. Buddha is not saying anything in his preaching that regarding the existence of God. But if you talk about the Vardhaman Mahavira, he said that there is no God. He denied the existence of God. But if you talk about the Buddha did not say anything in his preaching regarding the existence of God, and he led, means what he focused, Buddha is going to focus on the moral values such as ahimsa, obedience, respect for the elderly, and the kindness towards all living. Means he is saying that we should obey our parents, we should respect our elders, we should show kindness to all living beings. And the last one is about opposition to the caste system. Buddha believed in the equality of mankind. Buddha is saying that we should say that all men are equal. All men are equal, and has strongly condemned the caste system. He is strongly condemning the caste system. Now, we'll see about the aspect of Buddhism. Buddhism acquired great followings. Buddhism acquires great followings in India, Central Asia, West Asia, Sri Lanka, etc. Even today, you will find that Sri Lanka, Burma, and parts of China and the Japan follow Buddhism. So we are going to study about Buddhism. This Buddhism is going to be spread in all over India, in Central Asia, so in West Asia, Sri Lanka, and all about. And it has great appeal to the common people because of the following. You can see that this Buddhism has appeal many common people because of the following reason. First one is that Buddhism avoid philosophical discussion. He is not focusing on the philosophical. He is not talking about the heavens and the hell. He is only focusing on the beyond, and this heavens and hell is beyond the understanding of the common people, and he is only focusing on the present, or the real realities of the life, day-to-day life. It receives the support of lower caste people. Now, This Buddhism is going to spread because it receives the lower caste supports, because it opposes the Varna system, because Buddhism is going to oppose the Varna system, so the lower caste people is going to support there. And if even women are admitted to attend Sangha, and they were at par with the men, so the women can attend the Sangha, women can the form, and they are equal to the men also. And they use this language, that is Pali, the language of the common people, and in the teaching also contributed to its spread. Means it is saying that the use of the Pali, it is a common language of the masses. So in this way, the people get the teachings very easily, and it starts spread. Now, simple teachings of the Buddha, which avoided the importance of Vedic rituals. Now, because since the teaching of the Buddha was very simple, and in order to, because it does not have any rituals, so it attracted the common man. And the last one, you can say that it got the royal patronage from such as rulers like Ashoka, Kanishka, and the Harsa. And the king Ashok sent Buddhist monasteries through Central Asia, West Asia, Sri Lanka, and thus transformed it into the world. So you can say that this king Ashoka actually sent missionaries, means a group of people, to the Central Asia, and also to the West Asia, and also to the Sri Lanka. And in this way, this religion is going to transform it into the world. Means in this way, this religion is going to spread all over the world. Okay. Now, like Jainism, we will see that Buddhism is also divided into two sects. First one is Hinayana Buddhist, and the second one is Mahayana Buddhist. So what we will say about in Hinayana Buddhist, that is Hinayana Buddhist consists of Buddha. They consider Buddha as a preacher. Or as a thinker, as a teacher, and they followed his teaching very rigidly. The people who follow the Hinayana sect, they consider Buddha as a preacher, and follow his teaching rigidly. And if we talk about the people who follow the Mahayana Buddhism, they consider Buddha as a god, and idol worship become a part of Mahayana Buddhism. Now, what is the decline of Buddhism? We'll see about the decline of Buddhism. Buddhism declined in India due to the following reason. First one is that Vedic Hinduism was reformed and brought back into prominence, because we'll see that earlier because the people were unhappy with the Brahmins and the Brahminical religion. But after this Vedic Hinduism is going to reformed, is going to back into, and it will back into prominence, it will come back again. And second point is that Buddhism was split into Hinayana. Now, Buddhism was split into two sects, that is Hinayana and Mahayana. If we talk about Mahayana sect, the people who follow the Mahayana, they started Buddha as a god. They started considering Buddha as a god, and the idol worship was very prominent. So it is just like similar to Hinduism, because in Hinduism idol worship was there. Now, Buddhist monks and the nuns began to lead a luxurious life, because Buddha has said that you should follow Madhya Margam. You should avoid the extremities of life, and at the same time you should avoid luxurious of life. But these Buddhist monks and the nuns began to lead a luxurious life, and the corrupt practices crept into monasteries. You can see that their corrupt practices started in the monasteries. We will see about the impact of Buddhism. We are going to study about the impact of Buddhism. It contributed to the development. Now, what is the impact? First one is that it is going to contribute for the development of literature in the language of the people. That is what? About Buddhism is about the Pali, and the Jainism is about the Prakrit. You have to remember this one. So it is going to develop. So the Tripitaka, there is a book named that is Tripitaka, that is three baskets containing the teachings of Buddha, and the one more book that is Jataka, containing the tales of Buddha's previous life. So you have to remember two books, that is a Tripitaka. Does it contains? It contains the teachings of Buddha, and second one is the Jataka. It contains the tales of Buddha's previous life, and this literature became very popular after. This is the impact of Buddhism. Second one is that Buddhist monasteries became the center of learning. You have to remember this one, that this Buddhist monastery is going to become the center of learning, and people from all over the world come to these monasteries in order to learn. So some of them are the Nalanda, Taxila, and the Vikramshila, developed into famous universities. And the Buddhists contributed greatly into the art and architecture. Okay, Buddhist viharas, temples, and the monuments depicts the Buddhist influence in the art. And so you can say that this Buddhism is going to influence the art and architecture, because we will say that various viharas, Buddhist viharas, temples, and the monuments has a great influence of Buddhist. Now, Buddhist monks were required to faithfully observe the rules and regulations of the Sangha. So, we have to remember that these Buddhist monks have to required to follow and observe the rules and regulations of the Sangha. And as a result of an organized preaching under the auspices of the Sangha, Buddhism made rapid stride even in the life of Buddhism. So you can say that in the life of Buddha, there was Sangha. Sangha was formed so that this Sangha used to go here and there in order to preach the teachings of the Buddha. Okay, and they were actually following they were actually faithfully observe the rules and regulations. So in this way, that is, this religion is going to spread very rapidly. The Sangha helped in the spread of Buddhism to Magad, Kosala, Kosambi, and the several republic states. Now we will study about the Buddhism and Jainism. Similarities. Both were started by the members of Kshatriyas. You will study that this. What are the similarities? Both were this Jainism and Buddhism, that is Vardhaman, Mahavira, and Siddhartha, also known as that is Buddha. That is these two people were, that is, they were the member of Kshatriyas Varna. Second, they opposed Brahmanical supremacy. These two persons opposed Brahmanical supremacy, and both were simple religions. These two means this Buddhism and Jainism were the very simple religion without any elaborate or expensive rituals and practices. And the last one is that they condemn rituals and sacrifices because they were following ahimsa. They were following ahimsa, that is non-violence. They taught in the language of masses because we have already studied about the Buddhism and Jainism. They taught their language they taught their teachings or the doctrines in the language of masses, that is common language. Now what is the difference? Buddha stay away from the discussions on the God. Means Buddha, it does not say, he always stay from the discussion of God. He does not say anything about the God. While Mahavira, that is Vardhaman Mahavira, is going to deny that there is no existence. Now Jainism has laid a lot of stress on non-violence. Buddhism avoided extremity, because you know that Jainism, because he laid most stress on non-violence, because he's saying that the things that is present in earth, that is either animals, either plants, everything has life. So we should avoid from harming other. Whereas if you talk about the Buddhism avoid extremities because Buddhism follow Madhya Marg. After that, Buddhism has spread beyond India. So you will see that Buddhism is going to spread India, while Jainism remained confined only to certain part of India. Now Jainism was too austere. Means Jainism actually, Jainism is saying about to live a harsh life as compared to Buddhism. Now Buddhism attacked the Varna system. Buddhism is going to attack the Varna system, whereas Jainism was not that vocal about it. Means Jainism does not say anything about the Varna system. Okay, thank you.